Hi there.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Good, thank you.
How'd it go this week?
This week was good.
Hey.
There's always the hesitation in the voice.
Listening.
I'm trying to think of what our concerns were this week. So I've noticed at certain points of the day when we try to spray him, he thinks it's a game.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Well, we're at that point.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I get a little closer and make him squeal versus, because sometimes if I even just like barely press it and he just hears this like barely, he stops. But the last 2 days during his witching hour, when he's really nippy, he's in it to win it and comes for the can. Because
Oh,
most of the time I can hold it in my hand and it'll correct his behavior. But yesterday it was a game for him.
for sure. So this is not uncommon. So I went over like the level of aversives with you guys, right?
Yeah.
The different types, right? So realistically speaking, like dogs don't spray each other with compressed air. They bite
Yeah.
each other, right? Is that it's kind of like for me growing up, I was spanked, and then when I hit a certain age, like my mom used to spank me, but then I was like my dad used to spank and was like the next one because then he could spank harder.
Harder.
But
Yeah.
eventually I was big, and that's just I would laugh because I was like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even affect me anymore, right? So it's like the same thing. So if you're trying to get the most out of the application of the can, then it would be trying to get closer and getting full contact on that rear. So I think
Okay.
during the training session, you got him and he like yipped and he turned around. And he was like, "What was
Yeah,
that?"
because he doesn't always yip when we spray him.
Right. So that's a good
Maybe
correction.
maybe we should be there now.
Yeah, for sure. And then you might find you do that and he does the same stuff.
Okay.
Right. So that's when I look into like, the bonker and everything like that. And I know you got the kids and that's a whole nother
Yeah.
conversation of it.
They hear the yip and they freak out and then they're apologizing to the dog. I'm like, you guys are killing me here. Like you feel like you're setting him back. That's why
Yeah.
it's almost better get a puppy while they're in school so we can do it during the day the way we need to
Oh,
do
sure.
it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So all right, maybe we just need to get a little closer and definitely get the yips out of him for it to be
Um,
effective.
I don't know did I send you guys the puppy videos?
No.
Okay, I'll put it right there down here. So I made a compilation of puppy videos, and it's puppies being corrected by the mother. And she in some cases they bite them. In other cases, they're like growling and like it looks really
Yeah.
ugly. And the puppies are yipping, and then they calm down. They're perfectly fine. So I'm not sure. Depending on how it goes with the kids, but if you let this go unaddressed, okay, the potentials would be you get a brat, another
Yeah.
brat, okay, and a brattiness with dogs can be just like barking to play.
Well, he's gotten very, very yippy and growly.
Sure, yeah, which is normal.
Okay.
That's how dogs communicate. Sorry, my phone's ringing.
No, you're good.
Um, that's how they communicate, right? And growling doesn't always mean aggressive.
No.
Okay, it could be playful and all that stuff, or it's him like testing the boundaries, and like you'll see the difference between play growling and then like serious growling, right?
Yeah.
Is how do you say? Speaking from experience, and the dog that you have, the breed that you have, in like the worst case scenario, is you get a really yappy dog who's easily controllable because he's so small.
Okay.
Okay. So not when I talk to people about behavior, typically they go they just don't want an aggressive dog, right? Like that's like the worst case scenario for people.
Yeah.
So if he's not corrected correctly or appropriately to him, I would say that's what you would end up with, is a very yappy small dog who just doesn't know when to quiet down.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're like whatever, then it's whatever.
No.
But if it's like, no, we don't want that, then you're gonna have to have that conversation, and it's like, look, we tried the nice guy stuff.
Yeah.
but that's not how they correct each other. Look, here's some videos, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than a yippy dog in the city. If we all live in the suburb and had all this space, fantastic. But I wouldn't want to sit in my house and listen to my next door neighbor's dog just yip constantly.
right,
It'd drive me crazy.
and then going back to last week, I think you mentioned something about where you're talking to your neighbor, he just started barking,
Yeah.
right? Like that becomes more prevalent.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Absolutely.
yeah, so the more he goes unaddressed, appropriate to him, the more confident he becomes in those behaviors.
Okay.
And then not to say that you can never stop them, because they're simple behaviors you can't stop, but then you have to kind of overcompensate.
Yeah.
Because he's had his way for a bit. Now you have to squash that confidence, and it's like, okay, then you have to be even firmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I would kind of predict it would work out, just as FYI to you.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, the correction you did last week when you were training and you got him to yip there was a good correction.
Okay.
Ideally more of those. And then if you start to see the corrections start to dip in terms of frequency, that's good. That means progress.
Okay.
If it stays static or gets worse, then we have to think about other
The next
methods.
level. Okay. Because we've taken him on a few car trips. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. And he was driving me crazy because it was just yipping in the car. And of course, in that space, it just echoes. And we're actually thinking about potentially driving to Nantucket, which if that's an 18-hour or 15-hour ride, I can't have a yippy dog. Like, it'll be horrendous.
For sure.
So I don't know if we're spraying them in the car. I mean, just spraying them whenever.
When he's yipping in the car, does he go in the car willingly?
Well, I have a huge SUV. I don't even think you could climb into the damn thing on his own.
Okay. When you place him in there, how does he behave?
He's fine. Now, I was going to get a dog bed because he was sitting on my daughter's lap. And I was like, well, maybe he just can't get comfortable. I don't know. I don't know. How is he behaving on that car ride? I don't know. I mean, we haven't done it very many times, to be honest with you. It's just been the last two. Well, we got to get him to like the car if we're going to take him to Nantucket. So
that yipping can be a number of things. It can be overstimulation,
okay.
which is really common, especially if the dog is associated. Car rides mean going to like dog parks or going to like a friend's house, things like that, because then they're like kind of anticipating. It can be anxiety based. So if you see salivating, a lot of panting, wide eyes, that's possibly anxiety. He's just, because dogs aren't meant to be in vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, we're humans,
Yeah.
but we're so accustomed to it from birth that it's nothing out the ordinary as we mature.
Yeah.
But that's a potential. And then, if you're going on a longer trip with them, if he has any motion sickness, which can happen with dogs, you'll know. So it could be anxiety, it could be overstimulation. It could be frustration, like you said, of just being kept still on your daughter's lap.
Yeah.
So you can try the dog bed to see if maybe that was part of the issue.
That's what I might try initially. Then he's got his own space and he's not being manhandled and he can just sit, and hopefully that will help. I don't know.
Some dogs like just being able to stand, like if you're sitting by the door.
Yeah, stand up and out the, like near the window.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be rolled down, but just being able to see.
Yeah.
Sometimes help. I just recommend for people, there's I think it's by Roughwear. It's a special harness meant for traveling in the car.
Yes.
And it's really secure.
Keep them locked in, right?
Yeah, so it's like it's a harness, and there's like a little loop in the back that you feed your seatbelt through, and it clips. So in case of an accident, knock on wood, he doesn't go flying.
Okay.
Okay. And I like it. They're expensive. They're a little pricey. They're like maybe $60 to $90 according to the dog size, but they're really well made.
Okay.
Okay. So, or any other, there's other types, but that's the type that I like because I've seen them and I'm like, wow, this is pretty solid.
Got it. Okay.
Now, a potential thing you could do if those things don't address the barking. Just go on a car ride with them, you and Michael, and then somebody back with them to correct them. Bunker.
Okay.
Because if his stress levels are too high, a can of spray is not going to do crap.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And it's not uncommon. I deal with this stuff all the time. And then there's also like, let's say you pull over to put gas and then he's barking at whoever's like walking around the car.
Yeah.
You know, like it happens. So then it's just physical corrections.
Okay.
But you'd want to have someone like the last thing you want to be doing is this.
I know.
Right? So I would do it, with the two of you, just go off and go like, make this easier for us and do preemptive work so we don't have to do that for the 18-hour car ride.
Oh my God, I'd kill myself. Okay. Very ambitious. Okay. No, it's a good idea. Just the two of us going and dealing with it and do it the way it should be done.
Yeah.
Versus with the weak links. I'm looking at you over there. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Anything else?
The other thing, my husband's the one that gets up with him, and he said in the morning, we started pushing it back. So we're at about 7 a.m. now. But when he opens the door to the crate, all of a sudden he'll just sit there. So before he was,
oh, sure,
he'll sit there and he'll start barking. And he's like, come. And he won't come, but he'll just sit there and bark. And we don't understand why.
Interesting.
And we leave his door open. Now it is a clear crate, but he knows by now when that door's open and when it's not. And he sees him open that door. Because during the day, he'll just walk in there. And I think he's in there right. Is he in his crate right now? He'll walk in there and just sleep in his bed in the crate.
Right.
Which is fine by me. So I don't know. Is there a reason he's doing that or just something new? And
how does Michael get him out ultimately?
He opens the door and lets him walk out, which was never a problem until the last couple of days.
Okay.
And now he'll sit there and just bark. And he coaxes them, and then I don't know.
What I would do is maybe he's playing the game.
Yeah.
Because it's very common for people to think when they get a puppy that they think that's the dog. Like this puppy will be like this forever.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to change, right? But like humans, like I'm not the same person I was a year ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, right? So same thing for the puppy; they're constantly changing. So I'm not surprised by the new behavior. It is weird. It's out the ordinary.
Yeah.
So what I would do is instead of coaxing him, does he have a flat collar that he wears?
Yes.
Okay. And it's always on?
Yes.
Okay. What I would do is just have Michael go and grab the leash before he does anything, go to open the kennel and just clip him and then just start walking with him.
Got it. Okay.
Because it sounds like he's either playing a game and then Michael's coaxing him, and then it's just he's how would you say, like he's taking it as his interaction.
Okay.
And he's just kind of feeding off of that to like maybe he's bored or something, or he just rested a full night, so now he's like, I want some games type of thing.
Yeah.
So when you just leash him up and you just walk away with him, like you avoid that whole context, and also you're conditioning him that when that gate is open, like, or that door is open, like we go.
Yeah.
Because dogs are all about practice habits. So, or I grab him by the flat collar with my finger and just pull him out. Like I don't even wait for the barking to happen.
Don't wait for the barking. Don't let him come out on his own. Just bring him out.
Yeah. And eventually I would think it'd go back to what it was before.
Okay.
I'd keep an eye on it. It's not it's out the ordinary, but nothing like terrible.
Got it. Okay. Is there something like, say by the time we leave for this trip, if we haven't, I'd like to think we'll have some of the barking in the car under control. Can you actually give a dog something?
Like Dramamine?
Whatever, like for the barking. I mean, do they give dogs Something when they fly, if they're going to be put in cargo to kind of chill them out.
So, it depends on the dog. So like, dogs get car anxiety or they'll get motion sickness.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of car anxiety can be addressed through training, but the more advanced training that I do with e-collar,
Okay.
because it's really stopping the kind of psychological wheel of fueling that anxiety, which is different. Nowadays, veterinarians and I think just doctors in general just throw pills at everything.
Okay.
So I'll give you my 2 cents on it, and then I'll give you how it works.
Yeah.
But technically, so the way, if you went to your vet and you said, my dog barks a lot in the car, I think he has car anxiety or something, they'd probably prescribe him fluoxetine, triazidone, or some third one, okay? And it's a sedative.
Okay.
Or doggy Prozac, if you will. All it is a sedative.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not opposed to medications. What I'm opposed to is that vets are giving it for everything.
Got
and
it.
when I come into the picture, like for instance, for aggression, it's very common that a dog is drugged up. So the owner is giving their dog all these pills, and then they find me, and I come in the picture, and they're like, yeah, the dog's on fluoxetine for like 5 years, and he still bites people. Then I'm like, why is he still on fluoxetine?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I'm like, that's not fixing the problem. And there's very rarely do I ever see it, like maybe like 1 in 100, that it helps the person, but only because the dog is so sedated.
Oh.
They're just knocked out.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like giving a kid NyQuil.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I had a client whose dog had really bad motion sickness and would vomit. And they're like, can you do anything with this? I'm like, no. I'm like, it's just motion sickness. Like, that's not training the dog. That's physiological.
That's physical. So, I mean, that's.
Yeah. So I wasn't opposed to medication there because the dog would sleep through and wouldn't throw up.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I have no problem here because it clearly helped and there's nothing that I could do. And it's just, it is what it is.
Okay.
So that's my take on it. Your vet may prescribe you something like that. In my book, it's like, if you have kids yelling in the back,
yeah,
are you going to discipline them, or are you going to just like sneak them a bunch of NyQuil so they fall asleep?
I hear you. I prefer not to give anything, but I didn't know.
Yeah. But I get it. Like, it's an 18-hour trip, right? And you're stuck as a parent because you have your 3 children, and it's kind of like you're whacking the dog.
Yeah.
So I get your situation. That's why I mentioned, like, I would try this prior.
Yeah.
Michael,
Got it.
Because he's physical. Like, if he was with mama and dad dog and they were driving.
Yeah.
And he did that, they would just bite him.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not how the world is.
Yeah.
So those would be the potential options.
Got it. The kids also this week started doing that training that you said.
Okay.
And they're getting him to sit,
Okay.
which he just doesn't do it. He does it with the treat, but it's learned behavior. So it's just repetition.
Correct.
And I've told him, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, to say the word when he does it. Is that wrong?
So
can they not associate the commands at this age?
No, they can.
Okay.
So I think last time when we did the circles and the figure eights, right?
Yeah.
And then we were doing the hand motion up, but it was kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
Right. So I incorporate the word personally when I see the puppy doing that positioning reliably. Okay. Because then, like, you're trying to catch it when he does do it.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm trying to condition him to the point where it's not a battle, that it's super easy to make it happen.
Got it.
Right. So then it's consistent. And then I say sit because I know I'm going to get it.
Okay.
Okay. So, and for your daughter's question about like he should just do it, or he should
that he won't just do it. It'll just be with treat incentive only.
Correct. So this is kind of skipping ahead a bit, but just for your FYI, whether you're using positive reinforcement or positive punishment, which would be like food or
Yeah.
my e-collar, right? Regardless of whatever method you use, when you remove the reinforcer, performance always dips.
Okay.
Okay, that's just the way of the world.
Yeah.
So when it comes to positive only training, if you stick with that method, or if you go to a trainer that is solely positive only, they will tell you it's going to take years to train your dog.
Oh boy.
Okay, that's a yes or no answer. If you use positive only, yes, it's going to take years, and it's not even going to be that great.
Got it.
Okay, that's why I do e-collar, because I've had dogs that weren't trained for years, and I still train them to be off-leash reliable.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody wants to turn off negative experiences. You want it to stop, right? That's what makes it effective.
How old do these dogs need to be to do e-collar?
I wait till 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah. At that age, I can press them as an adult. And typically by that time, the family is so frustrated with the puppy that they're like, just like, we're ready. Can you relate with that?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be there.
And I can send you, I'll make a note of it. I actually just started a puppy who's 6 months old. He's a Bernedoodle.
Okay.
And he did beautiful. Like,
nice.
Every dog responds differently. Like if you have an anxious or nervous dog, it's not going to be the same as a stable dog.
Well, I would just think the younger you can get them, the better. Because yes, they've got bad habits at 6 months, but it's not like taking a dog who's 5 and
Right.
trying to correct years of behavior.
Right. And I can actually train puppies as young as 2 months on e-collar. The problem is the human.
Just feels guilty.
Yeah, they feel bad. So I've just learned throughout my years, like I don't press it. I let them get frustrated and I give them the steps because they have to be ready, like emotionally and psychologically, for that step.
My daughter just shot me a look. It's gonna happen, honey. So get on board.
But yeah, I'll send you the video. He did really well, and I have another puppy who's 6 months that we actually, he was bad. He was so bad. He's doing a board and train with me, and he was shrieking in the kennel. Peeing all over the place. And when we were training him, like did not want to do anything. He would just shriek.
Yeah.
And after a week of just discipline and then constant exposure, like he's like made huge strides. And you'd be surprised what we can get done with a 6-month-old puppy.
I'm sure. So here's my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
If we're on board, would you do it before 6 months?
Yeah. No problem.
Honey.
And it's, just so you know, it is cheaper for a board and train under 6 months than over 6 months.
Oh, is that what you do then? So
you
you what's the board and train? So you take them?
We take them.
For how long do you take them?
It depends on how much you want in terms of training and control. It goes from 1 week to 4 weeks. Okay, 4 weeks is like complete off-leash train. Now you still have to do work, but your dog has the capability for off-leash, like everything, right? 1 week is the basic, like walking on the leash, no pulling, kennel stuff, basic, keeping a potty training schedule going.
Or are you doing that with us, or you just have the dog and you're doing that?
We have the dog.
You have the dog. So we're not involved in that 1 to 4 week process.
Yes and no. So let's say you did 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. And the puppy one is a little bit different than the adult one. But for the puppy one, you have, let's say he's here for 2 weeks. Once a week or after 7 days, we would meet you, because of COVID, we'll meet you at Oz Park. And we start teaching you what we've taught Bocce. Okay. Then we take them back. And then we finish the second week. Then we meet again at Oz Park. And I believe that one's a 2-hour session because now we're unloading all the rest of the information. Okay.
I didn't even know you guys did that, to be honest with you. Interesting.
And then there's, I don't know off the top of my head, but there's more follow-up. So for puppies under 6 months, because it's usually simpler stuff and they're easier to work with, it's cheaper for the board and train.
Okay.
After 6 months, because there's been habits, like you said, right,
yeah,
that we have to break, it's more expensive, but it does come with a lot more follow-up.
So is that based on availability of the space that you have?
Yeah, but we got availability.
Well, because I'm wondering, like, if we're going to take this 2 week trip, should I do a week of it now to try to get him even more trained before I take him somewhere new, or would you wait until after?
You could, or you could even just while you're on the trip, just leave him here.
Well, we're going for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we wouldn't have that half.
oh, sure, but then we would just push it back. So like,
Okay.
you don't, if you can't, how do you say, like, you don't have to be here each week,
Okay.
right? It would just mean that on your pickup, you'd have a long 2-hour pickup,
Yeah.
right? It'll teach you everything, but then you would just have your next lesson later, okay?
Oh my God, that might be an option. Because we didn't want to leave the dog with anyone. I didn't feel comfortable boarding a dog. So that's why we're still going to drive. But I mean, if he could be trained in 2 weeks that we're going to be gone anyway, or at least well on his way.
I'm going to shoot you a few videos, but there's one, his name's Scotty,
Okay.
and he's the one that was a jerk when he came here.
Yeah.
And we had his first session yesterday. And you'll see just how well trained this, like we only cover a few things, but it'll give you a glimpse of what's possible even within just the week. Because we teach everything. Sit, stay, come, down, heel, and place. 6 commands, okay?
Wait,
But
what's place?
places like go to your bed and don't move for like 3 hours.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You get a lot of control. It sounds good, don't it?
It's very exciting.
So
Where's
yeah,
Michael? He should be here for this.
the level of control we get with these tools is very high.
Okay.
Okay? And transference is very high, which
Okay.
means how much work you have to do is minimal, but you still have to do work. Okay. And it doesn't like, it's all about discipline. The fact that the issue with your home, unfortunately, is with the children, you can't apply the appropriate discipline.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I will tell you a drawback is that you have to follow up, right? You'll have the tool, you'll have to use the tool when you need it. But if your kids are like, no, don't do it, and you oblige, Bocce will see that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he'll go, well, when my sisters are around, you won't do anything. So I'm going to be a brat.
Yeah. So in those, will you e-collar him during those weeks?
Yeah. We train them completely.
You do.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with it. If the family's on board, I'll tell them like, hey, sign the puppy up, before 6 months, it's fine. It's cheaper rate. You get the e-collar training. I can't guarantee I'll get him to like an adult level because he is younger, but it's going to be really good.
But it's going to be a much better foundation, let's be honest, than what we're going to do. I mean, yeah. Okay.
And what we've begun doing as well is, because I'm all about educating people. So like, I film these and I put them up and stuff, is what we're doing with the board and trains and the daycare and trains as well, is that the first time we teach something, because that's usually the hardest for the dog, is now we're going to start recording it so that you can see it, so you understand it.
Got it. Interesting.
The main thing about e-collar training is that people drop off their dog and pick them up another way, and they don't understand how it got there, right?
Yeah.
And they think the dog just knows stuff, and that they just press a button, dog just does it because they know it. But there's a whole like science behind it. And the more you understand the training, the better you are as Bocce's handler, because in life, things are going to happen that are unplanned. And when you really need your obedience to work, it's in those moments.
Yeah.
You're at the park and someone sets off a firework and it scares him.
Yeah.
That is super common. And then the dog runs for their life. And it's not about recall. It's about he's running for his life. And you want to know how to get him back with this tool, despite the fact that it's outside of the normal, life context.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So then you get even more, like you get the of course the follow-up, but then you have these videos that we will put up and say like, here's Bocce's video. So you learn, you see what he went through.
Yeah.
But we explain it. So like, even let's say like Bocce doesn't, respond like we would want him to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not smooth. And we'll stop and we'll say, this is not out the ordinary. We have to work the dog through it in order for our obedience to even mean anything.
Yeah.
Right? Some cases are easy. Bless you.
Thank you.
Some cases are difficult. And that Scotty dog, you'll hear me when I'm talking in the video. I'm like, man, this dog was bad.
Yeah.
And you'll see him a couple of times throw a fit with the sons, because the dog belongs to the sons.
Okay.
And I told the dad, I'm like, hey, you see this? It was like 10 times worse before we did anything. So.
Huh. Interesting. Well, that is definitely food for thought and something we would definitely consider, to be honest with you.
He's more than welcome here for the board and train.
Okay.
If for whatever reason you can't get the car thing down and you want to board him, he's welcome to board here as well.
Okay.
Our days, so we implement training, we reinforce training here. He would get to play with other puppies that we have here. And then we take him on about hour to hour and a half walk every day. So we'll see what he's capable of. Because if he's not capable of hanging with the crowd, because we go on group walks where it's like one person with like 6 puppies going for a long walk.
Okay, so there's my next question for you. Because of his age and he hasn't had everything yet, does that change the ball game?
We keep them separate. So
Yeah.
We take puppies as young as 2 months.
Okay.
Most places will not. Your veterinarian will tell you don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, what we have on our website is we take every precaution to not expose your puppy.
Okay.
All the dogs here are vaccinated, right? But we don't put them with those dogs. We keep them with the puppies that are his age and in his same shot record range, if you will.
Okay.
And we just take them for walks. We don't just take them to the park and let them run where other dogs are running and stuff, because we don't know. So he shouldn't pick up anything off the walk.
Okay.
But we do have a disclaimer that's we do everything we can, but there's obviously still the possibility of he could pick up something, but chances are he's not. But we just let people know, hey, at some point it might happen.
Got it. Okay.
But we've had a few puppies here that weren't fully vaccinated, and they've been fine.
Okay. Yeah, because that'll be probably, I think he was March 22nd. So is he 13 weeks? When do you get rabies? 16?
I think it's 4 months, 4.5 months. I think 4.5 months is when they're fully vaccinated.
Okay.
So you might be right on the 16. I've had a puppy in so long that I forgot, but.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be a problem. We just take extra precaution because we know he's not fully vaccinated.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Nice. All right.
Oh, let me ask you a quick question.
Oh, he just walked in.
About in the morning?
I did. I didn't know how you got him out though. Do you coax him?
No, I just open up the gate or open up the door and say, come on, let's go outside.
It's new behavior.
What does that mean?
So you need to basically just grab the leash, put it on, and walk him. Don't let him sit there and bark, because it's the interaction he's seeking.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Not rather than just leaving him alone.
Yeah, because when you leave him alone, he barks, right?
Well, not all the time, but he has started to bark. What's happening?
How you doing, Mike?
Fantastic.
Glad to hear.
All right, so yeah, it's weird because lately he hasn't wanted to come out, so I'm all right, well, I'm just gonna start extending it now. So now I don't come down until 7 a.m.
Sure.
Do you want to go live with him for 2 weeks? Do you want to go live with him for 2 weeks? They have a board and train. We'll discuss that later.
Oh yeah.
I'll fill you in. I'll send you videos as well so you can see.
All right. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So with the what I would do is, why not push it even longer, or do you wake up at 7?
Well, I would normally wake up, at about 6:45, anyhow. But that was the one advantage to getting up with him super early, was that I get more stuff done in the morning before everybody else gets up.
Don't stop. Where is it? Where's the camera? See, there's the growl.
Oh,
Did he eat already?
yeah.
Did you feed him?
He did eat.
Okay.
Oh, you got him.
Oh. Wow.
See, I wouldn't have a problem with the e-collar.
Yeah.
All right. So.
You just shock him? I did not shock him.
Luca. Kids are concerned about that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's sitting.
So yeah,
He's not
so I should just put the leash, if he barks, I should just put the leash on him and pull him out.
Prior. So when you go to take him out, I open the door, leash him up, and just take him out.
Oh, okay. So even if
You want to avoid the contact.
Okay. So even if it appears that he doesn't want to come out, does that just mean that he maybe wants to stay in there longer or no?
I mean, possibly. Like, he might be relaxed, right? Like,
Yeah, he's totally chill. And then all of a sudden he'll stand up and then I'll just go and start making my coffee or whatever. And then all of a sudden I'll like go over and see if he's still in there. Because what I don't want him to do is I don't want him to come out and have an accident, right? So I'll look, I'll peek, and he'll see me peeking, and then he'll like bark. So that's literally a new thing as of like the last 3 days.
yeah, it really sounds like he's just attention seeking. And it's like he's not really incentivized to go potty. Like it sounds like he's actually capable of holding it longer because he wants to stay in the kennel.
Yeah.
And then when you walk away and stuff, he's just, that whole barking and then trying to coax him out becomes kind of like a playful interaction for him.
Okay.
That he's how do you say, building that habit. So to avoid it,
All right.
I just remove him before that even happens and just make him go out.
Sounds good. That was the only thing I had.
Yeah, we discussed car and all the rest of it. So,
He's going to have to get used to it real quick.
well, unless we do option 2, which we'll discuss in a moment.
Oh, nice. All right.
Nice. All right.
And also, by the way, if you decide to leave him here, we can address that car thing too.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
we get the foundation down for you, and then we go over it with you. Anything else question-wise?
No, I think that's it.
Do the kids want to do some training with them?
Want to do some training, Jada? Yeah. All right. Butch, come. Butchie, come. Good boy. All right. Let me just grab a couple little guys.
Sure.
Wait, here, already have a street bag. Here, come. Leslie, here, you take the bag. You do it. This is your deal. Can you say hello, Jada? Good boy. Throw it to him.
Hello.
You want to get in there? Luca.
Good.
Yeah.
Try a couple more.
So when he's already sitting, though, do you move to a new location and make him walk to you?
So that's where you use the treat in front of his nose and slowly pull away to get him to stand up.
Okay. In front of his nose and pull it away. Pull it away. No, not up. Away from, like, toward you. Okay, just sit, buddy. Don't distract. I know. Just come sit. Slow. Lower one. Slow. Lower 1 for 1 though. That's
There, just feed him there. Feed him there.
go.
So when he stood up right there, I would have fed him. Because you're trying to teach him that there's another option besides sitting to get the reward. Okay?
So drag him back away. Let's go to the right of you. Well, yeah, just that way. Let him come for it. But toward his nose and then pull it away slowly. There you go. So he's starting to follow it. Oops, sorry. There you go. Keep dragging slow.
Yep. Repeat.
Okay,
Feed.
now feed him.
Good. Let's try that 3 more times.
Well, no, you just push them. Oh, do the drag. Honey, just put it
because he can't go for the bag because that's distraction. So when he's sitting, if you wanted him up, oh, there he goes.
Yeah, keep repeating. You got it. Or you can try going upwards to see if he'll sit.
Oh,
Freebie.
dropped it. Dropped it. Dropped it. Jada. Go up. There you go. Oh, he's looking. Oh, don't see, he nipped you. No, it's in front of you.
Go ahead and feed him for that. Good.
Jada. Okay, there's one underneath your right ankle. No, to the right. Yeah.
Do you want me to do
The drag.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but see, like he's nipping for it.
Yeah, there you go. Feed him. He's just it's not out the ordinary. He's just frustrated. He's trying to figure out what to do, so it comes out more intensely.
Okay, so drag him because he's already sitting.
Try it from your left hand. There you go.
He's like, this is a bunch of crap. You're not trying to sit him up then. That's right.
2.
Up. He's looking at it. Kind of go back to his nose and go up.
There it is. Good.
There you go.
Feed. Good. Let's try one more.
Then pull him out of the sit position.
Good. So this is why I don't worry about words right now, because he's still stuck between things.
Okay.
Right? So when it's really fluid and he's able to just sit and lay down and move forward and all that stuff, that's when I start titling everything.
Okay.
So what we'll do here is you'll lure him out of into the stand and then back into a sit. And then have you tried teaching him to lay down?
No.
Okay,
We've
so
not done it.
what we're going to do is once he's sitting, you can even try it from with him right there. Is slowly bring that treat down from his nose down towards the floor, very slowly.
When he's sitting?
When he's sitting, correct.
Well, he's all up in your brother's grill right now.
Come here.
Here, go see Jada.
Sit. No.
Right, and back up. And to his nose, and then slowly down. Back up. Yep, and repeat.
To his nose.
There, feed.
Oh, there.
Good. Go up to a sit, or that's fine. He's up.
Yeah, but do it when he's like that, honey. Bring him into the sit position with it.
There. It's okay if he gets up.
Now he knows that he can lay down.
That's the idea. Change hands. Oh, there we go.
Very good. 2 more.
Try to get him up from there. There you go.
Very good.
One more.
Yep.
There's hope for you yet, Bocce. Sit.
There. Very good. So what we're doing here is we're teaching Bocce that there's more than just one option to get a treat. And what I would do here is
That wasn't right.
is going from like the sit to the down back to a sit and then like into a stand or standing from a down. Like you're teaching him different ways of moving his body.
Okay.
And essentially he's learning that there's different answers. So before, because it was just sit, he just kept sitting.
Yeah.
Right. So then we had to teach him that standing also got him reward, and then also that laying down got him reward. And you can see where there's still a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
So as she practices it, it'll become more fluid where it's very simple and he goes straight to the positionings. And that's when I start to layer in the words myself. If they layer in the words earlier, it's not a big deal. You know, it's not the end of the world or anything like that. I know, you know, they're kids.
Yeah.
But that's how I go about shaping all these behaviors.
Spray him. Don't let him eat your shorts. He is, Jada. I see him nipping your toes. You have to spray him. See, now he wants to play, and now he's going to nip you. Don't offer him toys. See, this is the problem. She offers toys so he won't nip, but it's not fixing the behavior.
Yeah, like he's like not even
Like
engaging
he's ready to
with the
rip
toy.
now. You can tell.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, and all that barking and stuff is just frustration. You know, like he's wanting engagement, but if you were to engage with him now, it would just reinforce bad behavior. Now,
You can ask him. Ask him.
When he barks, do you spray him?
Yes.
yes, you can spray anything that you do not like. If he jumps on you, if he barks at you, if he nips you, if he scratches you, you can spray all that stuff.
No, that's something different.
And I would,
He goes for my son.
yeah. Now I would discourage like your son for a moment was like using his hands, kind of baiting the mouth.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
spray him. He's got your pajamas in his mouth. Get a can. They're everywhere. Spray him. Thank
There you go. Yeah, and you see how he gets kind of submissive there. There you go, and he shakes it off. There you go. Good boy.
And then bite my expense. Ow, no. Spray him again if he goes for Luca.
Try getting get a few more treats again and put him in a sit. I'm gonna see if he'll do something.
He cheated.
What?
He's already sitting. Oh, there we go.
So go ahead and lure him,
There we
and
go.
then keep your hand right in front of his nose. Like put him in a sit and then just hold it right there.
Don't give it to him.
Yeah, right there. Keep it right there. Pull a little bit back.
Just
There you go. Hold it right there. Perfect. And give it to him.
Oh, is that for shake?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, I'm good. Now, did you see how, like, I already knew he was going to do that. Did you see it earlier?
I don't think so.
I looked at the video on
Yeah, earlier when she was trying to teach him, he kept pawing at her hand. So then what we do here is when you hold it, the dog gets frustrated and they try to smack it out of your hand, and then you reward them, and then they end up learning, giving you that paw or shake.
Nice.
So go ahead and lure him back into the sit.
Go up with it.
Yep, up. Good.
Okay, now,
And just
not
hold it
on his nose, honey, just a little in front.
right there. That's good. Right there. And feed. Good. So he kind of, because he's frustrated, so he's kind of overreacting.
Yeah.
But as he learns or associates what he's supposed to do, it's going to calm down.
Okay.
Like even his sits today were calmer when you guys first started, but when we started teaching more stuff, he started getting a little bit more rambunctious. And that's because the brain is trying to figure out what to do, so there's a bit of frustration there.
No. See, now he's biting
Right.
him.
So like for instance, you can correct that when he put his mouth on you. You can correct that.
You should be spraying him because you let it go. And this is what he thinks he can do. This is the problem.
There. That was a nice
that's
one.
it.
That was a good one.
That was definitely a good one.
Let's try for 2 more.
If he bites you, spray him.
That's a double.
Double high five. Well, now that you know, we'll let Jada finish it out, and then we can do some later. He's ready to rip.
I know, I can see it. Good.
Oh, that was a good one.
Very good.
No, it dropped.
So like, if you wanted to teach Bocce to roll over,
Oh.
do you know how you would do that? So you see how he's laying down? You would put him in a down and then slowly move the treat over his shoulder to see if he'll roll over with it.
Bocce, come. Here. Here, go see Jada. Go see Jada. Call him. Ah, spray him. He's got your...
You have to spray him.
Yeah, Luca, when your pajamas
So
are
you
in
want me to get him in like a lay?
a lay,
Yeah, go into the
And
down first. Yep.
then you're going to do a circle over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Go down with it. Put it in front of his mouth and go down. Stop, Luca. Okay, now go over his shoulder. Yes, and keep going. You got to
Okay. And
kind
reset.
of finish the motion. Okay, go down. Well, he's trying to figure it out. No,
Yeah.
but you want him in a lay.
Right.
Get him in a lay. Well, he's going to try anything. Go in front of his mouth and go down.
It's because we just
And
taught the.
now he's cheating.
It's
Now
because
go
we
over
just
his
taught the
shoulder.
paw. Yeah.
And now come toward you, over his shoulder. You want his nose to follow your hand so he rolls.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm
Correct.
assuming that's what we're doing.
Correct.
Okay, so
Oh.
now go.
Yep.
Now go and keep going around. Over his shoulder. Yeah, but he's got to be able to see it and smell it.
There
So
you
do
go.
it there. Now roll. Start to roll it over.
Oh, you're close. It's okay.
Yeah, he's got to be seated though.
Or down.
Or
Yeah.
lay. That's what I meant. In front of his nose, bring him down. Okay, now. There you go. Now keep going. Roll it. Roll it. No, too far. Too far. Like hug his body and go around.
Correct.
Go. There you go. Like that. And maybe. But that's better.
That was close though. So for this week, for homework, I try to teach Bocce how to roll over. There. Oh, there you go.
Right there.
Almost.
Oh, yeah.
And yep.
Oh, keep going.
And feed him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
So
We'll take that.
with the tricks with this stuff, like it's it's fun.
Yeah.
I suggest anything that they like, like that you want to see again, you simply reward it and then figure out how you got that to happen.
Okay.
Okay, so for this week, I would have them. He's got a good idea of paw sitting down, the stand. So then I would work on rollover, and then
Okay.
see how he does. And if there's anything else they want to try to teach
Bring
him,
him.
you're not going to mess up your dog.
Come on, man. Ping. Don't let him step in it. Come on, you're doing so well. Well, it's super yellow, so that's a good
Yeah,
sign.
that's fine.
All right, you stinker. Don't let him step in it. You guys. You stinker.
Jesse wasn't supposed to see that.
I know.
It's all right. We ended up on a good note with the rollover, and then he had to balance it out with the potty mistake.
Where is he? Is he in shame mode?
Huh. Good.
All right.
So
All right.
the kids have some homework to do,
Okay.
and feel free to have them experiment and try to teach other things. Like it's food stuff. It's not gonna mess up bocce in any way.
Got it.
It's fun for them. So otherwise, that was good.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll follow up with you, and I'll send you the email with the videos and stuff, and then
Perfect.
you guys just talk about it. Okay?
All right, good stuff.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye
All
bye.
right, bye-bye.